not that Trotz doesn't want to win, but Tortorella almost seems like he wants to humiliate you in a way. I mean, I think he's just like this evil genius type villain coach that really revels in not only winning, but in winning in humiliating ways. And I think, without a doubt, I mean, it would be a must-win for any team with home ice advantage. You never want to go down 0-2.
Neil, if the Caps lose the first-round series, now it's a big leap at this point, we're one game in. If they lose, that's unsurvivable for Coach Trotz, right?
Oh, I would say a second-round loss is also unsurvivable. I mean, he's playing. I would say for him, it's Eastern Conference Finals or bust.
Not like he came out and said Gruby was great, not making a change. You know, that's not the reason we lost. He comes out and says we're going to reevaluate, and he was fine.
I think he was fine. He didn't win the game for him. He didn't lose the game for him.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that response? Lukewarm.
I think it's a terrible idea to not back up your goaltender publicly, or at least give him the feeling that he's the guy. And Barry Trotz thinks that he can bounce back from Holtby to Grubauer. I don't think that that's a recipe for success. We've never seen it in the playoffs, at least in the modern era. A little bit surprised. I thought Gruby had some really good saves, and then I thought he had trouble on the shots that you'd think that he'd have trouble on. I mean, 2 of the 3 goals against were on high-danger chances, which are high danger for a reason. So if that's what he's going to be judged on, I think that's probably a little bit unfair.
Sunday you've got to win.
It's must win. It's the biggest game of the series.
Yep. Biggest game
Yesterday was the biggest game. Sunday's the
Maybe I have to rewatch all their goals. It'll be annoying to do it, but I didn't feel like any of the goals were like soft goals. Yeah, I don't know how you can blame Gruby for it.
Yeah, I think he was average. Average is slightly above average. He wasn't great.
Let's hear what Trotz. We're going to take some more calls. 800-636-1067. This is what Trotz thought about Gruby last night.
Barry, you gave over here. You gave Philip Grubauer a start tonight. What were your thoughts on his performance, and do you go back to him for Game 2?
Well, that's right now. I'm going to reevaluate your question if we go back. I think right now that Philip's body of work was good. I thought he was fine. I mean, we'll sit down. We'll reevaluate all the goals. We'll reevaluate our team and where we're at, and we'll go from there.
See, he said he thought he was fine.
So what do you make of our Caps here? A lot of us, we're just going down the woe is me highway, the same old, same old. Now, usually the Caps get out of the first round, but nothing's easy if you're a Caps fan around here. Should we be panicked, or how should we feel about this so far?
Well, Columbus is definitely a bad draw for them, and I say that with a lot of different reasons. And I just don't understand. You have the first game of the playoffs. Energy should be at an all-time high. Preparation should be an all-time high. And I didn't see anything that impressed me about Washington last night. As much as I love Ovi, he was invisible last night. I thought Backstrom was invisible last night. You make mistakes at critical times in the game when you are taught as a player from the earliest of ages, hockey 101 we say, right? And Burakovsky, who I really love the guy, I love watching him, who's usually very dependable, with 5 minutes left in the game, in the offensive zone, chases Seth Jones behind the net instead of staying right in front of the net, keeping him in front of him, being very protective. And you don't chase a puck handler behind the net in the offensive zone, and he ends up taking a penalty with 5 minutes left, up 3-2, and then they score on the power play to tie it up. It's just, little things like that where you don't think, where you're not prepared mentally, seems to be Washington's downfall time and time again.
Did you agree with Coach Barry Trotz's decision to sit Holtby and play Grubauer in Game 1? What were your impressions of his play in Game 1, and what do you do in Game 2? Do you stick to your guns and stay with Grubauer, or do you shake it up and maybe play Holtby in Game 2?
Listen, I thought the decision could have gone either way, because Grubauer, I think, earned his way into a starting role. He's played really well coming down the stretch, and I don't think he played terrible last night. I think he got put in situations. I mean, listen, when you have Thomas Vanek, out-muscle Brooks Orpik in front of the net, as bad as he did last night, and not get pushed out, that's not Grubauer's fault, and that's that was the 2-2 goal game. Then I told you they took the penalty. Now you're on the power play, and you don't get the puck out. I mean, Tom Wilson, love Tom Wilson. He's one of those heart and soul guys that you need on your team, and he does everything that you want to do as a coach. But everybody makes mistakes. He couldn't clear the puck twice on the power play, on the penalty kill, and it ends up in the back of your net. That's not Grubauer's fault. So it's the little mental things in the playoffs that end up costing you, and it did for Washington last night because they have a team. They're playing a team that will not go away, that will grind you and grind you and grind you. And you know what? Columbus pushed them out of the game last night.